All right, so without further ado, here in the top left-hand corner of Light Shade, give it up for the pink Protoss from Alpha X. It is ASTREA. And in the bottom right, in the red, playing as the Terran pieces from X on, it is Special. Exxon, man. I feel like Special is one of those players that I don't want to say team hopping. I think he's actually been on Exxon for a while. I'd have to look on Team Liquid, but it does seem like he is one of those players that just everybody wants. Gonna do the proxy barracks up at the top. ASTREA on the other side is going to be doing the gateway. Excited to see how he has actually kind of improved as of late. It definitely feels like ASTREA, I guess in my vision, had disappeared for a while. I don't know if maybe he was taking a break or I just happened to miss all of the tournaments that he was playing in, which is definitely a possibility. But he is one of those strong Protosses that I guess in a sense we kind of see him as the future of StarCraft. And when I say that, I mean like, I guess what you would consider what they consider like an up-and-comer kind of thing. Even though he's been in this for a while, he's had some amazing results being on GSL and stuff. It's one of those. It's kind of like a Klim, right? That they're so good and they're up-and-coming that it's like they're the future of the game. It feels like. And I think, you know, when we get like stats and some of these Koreans that are like considered some of the top Protosses, like through their military service or even if they retire, I definitely think ASTREA is one of those ones that's going to hold the beacon for Protoss for a very long time. And he is a very strong Protoss player. Special does have that Reaper and is going to get the probe. Sees that there is indeed the factory coming out. Now, ASTREA is going for the expansion, opening up into a Stalker, and looks like he will be adding on a few more gateways. And the thing is I don't think ASTREA has actually, no, he hasn't scouted where the barracks is, so in his mind it is a proxy, but it really is just kind of a in my base hidden proxy kind of situation. Very nice. ASTREA going to be throwing the sentry into this, following up with a robotics facility. On the side, we do see Special adding on the additional Reapers, going into the Hellions, transitioning into a mine behind this, so we'll look to go into potentially a drop or just to have it for defense against maybe a Stargate opener. Because really he hasn't scouted that much, right? He's tried to get into the main with the Reaper, but initially could not get in there because of the Stalker. So, not too bad, not too bad. Gets 2 pro kills and makes it out, only damaging the Hellion just a little bit behind this Special, adding on those Marines. He's got the medevac coming out, adding on 3. I don't think he makes enough to get 4, but we'll at least continue the harassment here across the map. Loses the Hellion, but still the Reapers are alive, getting an additional 3 kills there, bringing the total up to 6. Another one, oh man. Total of 5. Good job there so far from ASTREA. Special though not done yet, as he is going to continue to fly across with the medevac. He's got 3 Marines or 3 mines in there, excuse me. And behind this, just going to go into the starport with the Viking, and then past that, you know, eventually just kind of transition into, I guess, what you would consider a normal standard game, but he's got to be careful here. Oh, ends up losing the medevac and a mine there. Even loses the additional one, so definitely did not pay it. And what was looking pretty good for Special starting out, ends up tying things up, or at least making it a lot better here for ASTREA. ASTREA is going to be going into that 3rd base behind the pressure, and the Viking here for Special looks like it's going to be trying to go up towards the main base, maybe do a little bit of a Viking harass. which is actually really nice. We see Raven harasses a lot, Viking harasses definitely. So very good job there. Behind it, robotics facility for the Protoss, adding on the forge. And just getting those juicy gases. Now, ASTREA does see the Viking here, and actually has a couple of Stalkers in position to defend this. And that's one of the things I love about ASTREA, is that he is able to just kind of pinpoint where things are coming from and just have enough stuff in position to defend. You know, we think of Zest a lot of times as the like shield or stats as the shield of ire and stuff like that, like being very good as a Protoss to just defend. And once they've broken the offensive push, being able to counterattack it and just win it. And I think definitely ASTREA has that capability of defending a lot of these kind of aggression plays, and especially when you're playing against a player like Special, who is very much an aggressor. We've seen him non-stop just coming across, non-stop just trying to be in the face of ASTREA. Definitely doing a good job at defending that, at least. Special making his way across the map to the third base. There are enough Stalkers here and a couple of tanks. It's only a handful of Marines and a medevac, well, and the Viking, I guess. So, but already looking pretty good here. +1 almost done for the Protoss. +1 not even started yet for Special, as he is going to slowly start moving those tanks up. Additional warp in the Zealot's going to come in here, as well as the Immortal. Marines trying to split up as best as they can, trying to get on top of these Zealots. Eventually the Immortal will fall. The Stalker's going to fall as well, and still enough Marines coming through. Somehow this Viking is still alive with 10 health. Additional warp-ins coming in, Stalkers from ASTREA. And yeah, I think he's going to hold this for the moment. Raven does finally come out. There is no medevacs with this already. Oh no, the Raven. Okay. A little bit of bad engagement there from ASTREA. A little bit over an extension. Tries to get on top of the tanks, but ends up losing quite a bit of Stalkers there, and both of the Stalkers remaining are pretty damaged. Speed on the way now for those Zealots for ASTREA, and Special on the other side, finally taking his third base, is adding on the tech labs, 2 additional barracks. Yeah, gonna start that production. Finally gets Stim on the way. He has not had Stim yet. Interesting. And +1 is now started as well. On the other side, additional Forge and Templar Archives on the way. So really going to be able to start getting into those High Templars, getting Storm, Archons, you name it. If he wants to go DTs, we've actually seen that incorporated quite a bit lately. Like Blink DTs and stuff, so interested to see that. Robotics facility going to be spitting out them Colossus. And I like it. Yeah. 4th base now down for ASTREA behind all of this. It's interesting. We look at the units lost tab, and overall, it does seem like Special is getting a little bit of the better engagements that we've seen so far, but it's so close that this feels like it doesn't really matter. Like right now, yeah, Special does have maybe the more value out of his army, but ASTREA, with this 4th base coming in, getting those additional workers, can allow him to start pushing ahead, as long as he doesn't take bad engagements. We've seen so far that he's had some pretty good engagements, but it does seem like a couple of misplays could change that. Blink on the way now for ASTREA. He's got +2 and extended thermal lance. Is able to at least see that there is a 3rd base here now, and Observer in a good position, just especially knowing that there is that Raven. Do you actually see it? Gonna scan forward, but ASTREA does actually know this is coming. Oh, he's got to be careful, though. That Raven very much exposed. Tanks sieging up, trying to get in a good position. It's really hard on this map, I feel. I mean, you do have a lot of like up and downs, which is nice. God, this Raven though. Okay, actually able to shut down one of the Colossus here. The Marine's gonna stem forward. A huge chunk of Zealots coming in from behind, getting on top of the tanks. It looks like Special might just have enough here, but with the addition of the Zealots, going to force a pickup and move back. Now the tanks up on the high ground are going to go ahead and unsiege and move back, but at least he has been able to reset the Colossus count. He's been able to kind of shut down a good chunk of the Immortals and the Stalker count, so it does help him at least get a little bit prepared and not overextending, really helping out Special in this case. But ASTREA still looking really strong. He's getting those additional Archons. He's got +3 now on the way, compared to Special's only +1. Even taking a 5th base behind all of this, really just doing a fantastic job. And the thing is like Special's been putting a lot of resources into these kind of like aggression plays, and now we see him going into a like multi drop situation, just trying to attack on both sides. Sees that there's a huge chunk of those Zealots down at the bottom, so just going to go into the main base with the small force. Wants to get on top of the sentries, get on top of whatever they can. It does force a pickup though, and still just mainly tanks coming out. We do have Ghost finally making an appearance in this match from Special, but these Zealots really are going to be a handful for the Terran. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Oh, ASTREA gonna get the medevac. Huge pickup there. Really just trying to shut down any of this counter aggression, this multi-angle aggression. Ooh, loses the Warp Prism though. Charge gonna be coming on top of the Marines. Some pretty decent micro back, but with the addition of more Zealots, will force this back, losing quite a bit of units. He does have a lot of tanks and Vikings at home, I guess, to kind of deal with the Colossus, but just not getting his 4th base up and running definitely makes it a tough situation here. Ooh, a huge shutdown on the production of ASTREA. Kind of a huge Artosis pylon there. I love it though. ASTREA gonna throw down some more pylons just to make sure. Lose more power. Now he's at a pretty good size where it doesn't matter initially at this point. Like, he's going to be able to get this up and running no problem and not really miss a beat. He is maxed out, so it's not going to matter as much as if it was earlier in the game, but still it is kind of an annoyance. Here we go down here at the bottom onto the 3rd base. ASTREA looking to start pushing into this tanks, not sieged up just yet. Forces the siege, and we'll go ahead and back up, trying to get on top of some of the Vikings. DT Shrine on the way, as well as it is now a transition into those disruptors, and those disruptors could be life or death here for Special. You know, this map isn't the best for splitting, and if he can land some solid disruptor shots, that could find some trouble for Special. Oh no, these tanks. Okay. Say they're kind of off guard, but oh no. Oh no, all the Zealots going down to the 3rd base. There's only 2 tanks here. Oh no. We'll be able to clean up that 3rd base. On the other side, we do see Special coming across to the 5th base here of ASTREA. The tank's gonna siege up. Overcharge has been activated, but 18 SCVs on the other side. This 3rd base going to be totally decimated as more Zealots do go into the 3rd base. Special will be able to take care of the 5th base. 31 SCVs, holy cow, have gone down. And I really feel like Special's going to have to return home to deal with this. 39, 40 SCVs falling. Special is all in at this point. I mean, he's trying to build up some force at home, but he is losing out on a lot of resources, losing a lot of SCVs at this point, slowly trying to move his tanks up and forward. He still has, I guess, the CCs alive, which is going to be good. Playing it really smartly, though. All of his Marines and stuff are in the back, just slowly pushing those tanks forward so he doesn't lose too much. DTs are out, though, and I think he may have seen them. DT Blink on the way. Huge Zealots coming in from behind. A little bit of a misclick coming out from Special as he's slowly starting to get evaporated here. The tank's going down. The Immortals coming in. The Zealots just getting a huge clump around. Will force a pickup. And now, with the additional resources coming across now for Special, just not going to be enough. And GG's. Nothing to do here in the top right-hand corner of the map, playing as the red Protoss. From Alpha X, it is ASTREA. And then the bottom left in the blue, playing for Exxon, it is Special. There we go. I think that's where the confusion is. I've been casting Special on, I think on the Korean server, and he has this into the clan tag. So I was like, well, he's been kind of going between Exxon and that, I guess, but I think Exxon is his actual team there. Stuff. All right. So game number 2. Last game was really interesting. See, Special doing a really good job of keeping up the aggression, really trying to force ASTREA to stay at home. It just was not able to get really any counters. I wonder if he would have thrown in a couple of mines into the fight. It would have been better for him, because really, he didn't have any detection with the army. Like, he had observers everywhere, but it didn't feel like he had that much detection at home, or even like with the army that was traveling around. So may have been able to get a couple of good Widow Mine shots and cleared that up. But it's alright. I mean, the tanks do a really good job, and he had a lot of tanks. Just was not able to get it done, unfortunately. ASTREA gonna go into an expansion, throw in the probe across the map. Special taking his own expansion, this time making the barracks into the main base. It is going to be Stalker first. I wouldn't mind seeing ASTREA go into some Stargate play this series. And I'm sure we may get into some Stargate, maybe even go into some like adept pressures. It's definitely something that ASTREA is capable of doing. Special, I would love to see him go into mech at least one of these games. He does have some really good like battle mech and mech in general. I definitely think when you think of mech players nowadays, Special is definitely one of those players on your list. I mean, definitely like Maru and some Terran, like a lot of Terrans are good at mech, but I definitely think Special is one of those household names of the meching side. So Zealot gonna head back now for ASTREA. He does have a Stalker and a Sentry. I think he's just going to keep those at home for the time being. There's no really a need for being aggressive at this moment. He definitely could, but at this point there's 5-6 Marines. You don't really have to worry about it. Stalkers and the Sentry in position up at the top for any kind of counterattack. And we do actually see the Phoenix that is shaded, hallucinated, going across the map. Does see the positioning of the Marines. Sees that, you know, there's nothing really across the map at this moment for him. Tanks, Marines, and eventually a medevac, I think, will come out. We should be able to see a drop. Yeah. I think a little late on the medevac, actually, but it's okay. I think initially with this build, you're wanting to get the medevac around the same time as the tank pops out and just attack into the third. But it does seem like Special kind of holding himself back and actually supply blocked pretty heavily here, actually. He's just going to throw down finally some additional depots, but with the Stray now pushing across the map, it does look like it could get a little interesting. I mean, yeah. Okay, so he's going for the 2 tanks. Do you go across with this? I mean, you know that your opponent is coming across the base. I guess you're trying to force the recall, but... Oh, beautiful play there from Astrea. Unfortunately, still able to heal. So I guess he does force the recall. That's a good play. Marine's going to be focusing down the pylon, trying to get the warp ins, and actually going to be able to clean up a good chunk of the stalkers and stuff here. Actually getting a lot more damage done than I thought was going to happen here. Doing a fantastic job, and I think that recall was perfect, being able to heal up, because I mean, really all he had at home was two Marines to defend. But I guess the power of the bunker is a little too much. Now he doesn't have stim, so not going to be able to really give chase to these stalkers. And we still see stalkers across the map trying to put on the pressure, but now with tanks, more Marines coming across, going to be more than fine. Just trying to focus down each stalker. Medevac now out of energy. Not gonna be able to really heal. GG's. And Special gonna tie things up. Alright guys, here in the bottom left in the blue. Give it up for the Terran. It is Special. And in the bottom right, in the red, it's the Protoss player. It is ASTREA. Alrighty, so things tied up now. 1-1. So we see Special going for the barracks in the main. Surprised he's not proxying, actually. A lot of Terrans like to proxy on this map, and I think people in general like to get cheesy on this map. I always feel like the maps that the players are on the same side, either on the south side or north side or whatever, this makes it interesting when they're not cross spawns. Probe for ASTREA coming across. Behind this has the Cybernetics core, and will eventually take his expansion. Wants to get in at least, and it is going to be a Marine opener once again. We've actually seen this a lot more, you know, getting the Marine first and just kind of going into the reactor behind this. Oh, actually going to go into a Reaper. How interesting. Maybe he just didn't have enough for the Reaper at the beginning or something. Definitely a possibility. Or just maybe you kind of throw off ASTREA, right? I mean, we've seen last game, Special did go into the Marine first into like essentially 7 Marines with the tanks and stuff. So maybe trying to give him the idea, hey, that kind of same play's coming. I like it though. Reaper gonna be making its way down towards the bottom. And it is going to be Adepts coming out from ASTREA, opening up into the Sentry play afterwards. And that's going to allow him to be able to at least go across with a hallucinated Phoenix and just kind of scout, see what's going on. Special coming across now with the Reaper. Let's get one probe. Looks like he might be able to get a second. Oh, it's so low. He really wants that probe. Not going to get it, though. Oh! Okay. There we go. Adept is going to get into the main base, though, of Special. Eventually will be taken out. Does get 2 kills. The dying word is ire. And he has so many probes that he keeps getting low, but not able to get it. ASTREA doing such a good job with that Sentry. Nexus coming out for ASTREA. Special though, going to be going into more Marines. He does have that tech lab coming onto the factory, and a starport coming down. go. Oh, beautiful block actually coming out here from ASTREA. Special doing a pretty good job, though, of keeping his units alive. Like, I gotta say, this Reaper has been on the brink of death so many times. Just really showing the control here of Special so far. And behind this, I mean, on Special's side, he's going to get the Raven. He is eventually going to get the normal setup, you know, double tech lab, barracks, and just keep on the pressure. We'll see that moving back. Now, what does ASTREA want to go for here in game number 3? He's going to throw down the robotics facility. He has added on quite a bit of sentries, and will eventually, you know, throw down some additional gateways. I wonder if we see a similar setup from the previous series. You know, get 3 Colossus and then switch into the Disruptor play. It definitely seems like that's the more popular build these days, especially against Terran. And I think it works too, especially on a map. On a lot of these maps this season, it feels like they're not very big. Like, they're very tight corner, tight choke points. So disruptors, tanks, stuff like that's really going to be some good plays. Finally gets that probe he's been searching for, and eventually loses the Reaper. And yeah, I mean, he's able to at least scout, see what's going on. Twilight Council and a Forge coming down. Does he actually see that, though? He doesn't know about the Forge or the Twilight, but I guess you kind of assume that they have it now, or they should have it by now. Stem down the way, and we do see +1 coming through as well. Hellion will be coming through and trying to at least just get some more scouting info, see, you know, is there a 4th base? Is there, you know, a big attack? What kind of composition is this guy going for? And using that Hellion really helps because you're not going to have to use scans. You can use that to get more resources. So just try to play it smartly, and you don't have to commit with the Hellion. Just kind of brush by and see what's going on. So very smart plays coming out from Special. Blink on the way now for ASTREA behind this. He is getting +1. And we're going to see a move out finally from ASTREA. Looks like he wants to start pressuring towards the natural. Now, it is just a couple of Raven and a couple of Marines. He could actually get on top of the Raven. No, Raven's too quick. He doesn't have blink yet. Tank's going to force this back. And now a medevac drop going across the map at the same time. I don't think this is actually going to get scouted from ASTREA, so, well, he does have the pylon, so he will eventually see this. Hellion trying to get in once again. Gets denied. But we will see that medevac eventually make its way into the main base of ASTREA. But ASTREA holding down the fort here in the main. Just trying to get on top of everything. Blink is almost done. +1 is about finished up as well for Special. Robotics Bay on the way now for ASTREA. Wants to get on top of the Raven if possible, but it's going to get forced back. The interference. Not going to be very good. Losing quite a bit of army, or excuse me, probes in the main base. Gets 10 probes. Loses like 4 Marines there, so good job from Special. And we will see Special starting to slowly push across the map now. And this kind of slow tank leapfrog push that he likes to do. Anti-armor missile, definitely really good for this armor composition. He doesn't have that huge of a force though, like in all honesty. It really is the tanks kind of busting through this. Blink is done though, so he has to be careful. Charge on the way. Disruptors are going to be made instead of Colossus this time. And +1 armor for the Protoss as well. Now, ASTREA does have +1 on the Zealots and the Stalkers, so ooh, that Disruptor could be a big hemorrhage here for Special. Overcharge is active. Raven trying to find a way in here, maybe to lock down either some of the Immortals or just kind of anti-armor once again. There's a nice little force coming around the back, looking to get a little bit of a sandwich going. Even the Liberators coming through. Disruptors, oh, able to shut it down. Really good play there coming out from a special. Stray will end up getting forced back here. Kills off the Immortals. There's not a whole lot left. And the thing is like, ASTREA is getting his army kind of scissored in uncontrollable ways, but with the Stalkers coming in from behind, and eventually with the Mass Zealot style, we will see the tanks getting cleaned up. The Ravens will eventually get moved back. The Liberator's going to go down, trying to stem forward and help on top, because somehow that Raven's still alive. Will get forced back. And ASTREA lives to fight another day. Now, the third base finally down for special behind all of this. I think he had a fourth. No, he didn't. I'm just seeing things. I thought he had another base come in as well. And it looks like now ASTREA wants to go for not necessarily a counterattack, but this is obviously the big choke point between the two bases. So if he can get an idea of what's coming, maybe pick off a couple of units, it's going to be very nice. There's a nice little Liberator coming down. We'll eventually... Oh God, I love that little background picture. We'll eventually be able to see the fourth base there. Huge disruptor shot. Gonna move forward with the blink. And that's one of the things we're talking about with this little area right here. Is such a choke point. Those disruptor balls will be a hemorrhage. Careful. Liberator gonna get on top in the main base, actually, killing off 14 probes. Eventually the Stalkers will be able to get it. Another one adding up into the third base, so resulting in some lost mining time. Eventually will get taken care of, though. And now behind this, additional factories coming through. We've got that 4th CC on the way. Finally, the armory coming down, which will allow +2 to begin for the infantry, as he's just now getting his armor for +1. +2 has already begun for ASTREA here. And I feel like at this point, like, even though ASTREA, like, unit-wise, or like, if you look at the army, you know, 115, or supply count, you know, 115 to 146, definitely looks like it's in the favor of special. But I don't know, ASTREA's been taking some really good fights. He's finally getting High Templar. Doesn't have Storm yet, but I imagine that will be on the counter. But I don't know, it's just really going to depend on these engagements, because it really could go either way. I think Special's tanks will be able to get a lot of damage done. He is going to find... What is he doing? He's losing 2 medevacs for nothing. Okay, he had some Marines up at the top trying to get some damage done, but... +2 on the way. Ghost Academy finally coming down behind all of this. We do have another CC, as a 5th base will be coming through for special. ASTREA looking to go up towards the top, but the Marines will scout this out. It's actually just going to move everything to the north. Oh, the disruptors! Another big shot. Trying to get on top of those disruptors. Those are really the big killers here for special. And eventually we do have those Colossus coming out. A 4th Colossus on the way. +2 is about done for the Protoss. And surprisingly, no Storm yet. I guess he really isn't going for a High Templar army at the moment, so he doesn't need it. The Raven at full health might be able to shut down a handful of the disruptors or the Colossus. I mean, which one do you really want to go for? I guess the Colossus, right? I mean, disruptors, I feel like would have a huge impact, but maybe you just anti-armor everything. Very interesting. Special is now maxed out. ASTREA is getting up there. These tanks slowly just starting to push across. Actually, it's forcing ASTREA to kind of split up his army here. I love that the Zealots are trying to kind of get a wraparound, but there's just so many tanks here for special right now. +3 on the way for ASTREA. Ooh, gets the High Templar and the... Oh, man. Gets the War Prism. Picks up one tank, but... Ugh. Go. Oh, yeah. There we go. Alright, so there's quite a few Zealots, but there are a lot of tanks. How many tanks does he have? He's at 11 tanks. Disruptor shots not really making their connections, as it does look like Special gonna start pushing in. Oh, a massive hit though. Special's definitely got to be careful here. He cannot afford to take these additional fights. I mean, can't take the extra damage here for sure. Behind it, he does have a nice little Zealot run by. ASTREA just trying to keep the focus away from this engagement. Maybe be able to get a couple more like disruptor shots. He does have actually a DT shrine on the way as well. So we'll eventually go into DTs behind all of this. And I think it'd be pretty good. I mean, considering he doesn't have really any turrets anywhere except for like this base. Zealot's really going to keep forcing the hand here. Going up towards the main, into the third base, into the natural. Eventually we'll get cleaned up. But good job. 10 SCVs do go down. And accounting 16, 17. Holy cow. 22 SCVs. Jeez. Slowly. Special moving towards this north base. Shuts down some of the production. Shuts down the Templar Archive. Or excuse me, the Twilight Council. I don't know my buildings apparently. And is just going to slowly start pushing into the main. Now, this is going to be a nice little full-on splash. Full-on engagement coming out from ASTREA. Able to clear up all of those tanks. Forces a pickup into the main base of for Special. No, he's just going to go ahead and return back home. Does not want to overextend, even though I feel like just getting shut down. And now we see ASTREA back at the top. He still has quite a bit of minerals, quite a bit of gas to be able to keep warping in if he needs to. He was able to at least kill off 7 probes. With +3 coming through, I mean, it is looking like Special might be able to go back in. But now just a huge counter push coming out here from ASTREA. Blinking forward with the Stalkers, trying to get on top of the tanks. Liberator's going to be going down. It's not enough here, and GG's as ASTREA takes game number 3. If I do here in the top right-hand corner of the map, it's the blue Terran pieces known as Special. And in the bottom left, in the red, it's the Protoss player. It is ASTREA. There we go. All right, so game number 4. Excited to see what ends up happening. Special going into the refinery first, throwing down the barracks here in a proxy location. You see ASTREA going across map, actually just out of range here of ASTREA's vision, as he will eventually go across the map to put on pressure. Nice. So it is going to be a proxy Reaper situation. Does he throw down a second barracks? I think it's just going to be the one barracks. Not going to go like full aggression with it, but ASTREA going to be coming into the main base. Says, hey, you're missing something here. I'm not a Terran player, but I think you're missing something here. And it is indeed going to be that barracks that is proxied. So ASTREA just going to hang out for a moment, kind of see where things are coming from, where things are going. And indeed, it is going to be that second depot coming down now. So SCV will be returning back home, and it is just going to be that single barracks. Now, the Cybernetics Core does come down here and will block off the ramp, so unfortunately, Special is going to have to make the long trip around. Factory does come down. And, I mean, ASTREA is going to see this all, which is going to be really nice. Let's make a Zealot. I don't know how well the Zealot does against the Reaper, though. Ugh, loses it. Not how you want to start this match. Unfortunately, ASTREA will eventually be taken out of the main base, but a pretty good start here so far from ASTREA. So finally going to take his expansion, and behind this, just going to, I guess, keep with the Reapers. I think maybe 3 is kind of your limit here. Let's see if you're not getting the damage done. There's already a Stalker. Yeah, I mean, maybe you get in and try to scout some, but kind of unfortunate. Sentry on the way, as well as the Cybernetics Core Warp Gates technology coming through. Starport follow-up for Special. And it is going to indeed be the factory with the reactor. Going to go into Hellions behind this, so has the potential to get a lot of damage done, but we'll see. I mean, he's adding on additional gateways on ASTREA's side. There's a little bit of a darkness up here, so if he doesn't put anything up here, and he has kind of delayed his, like, robotics facility, it's just now starting, so I don't think he'll actually have any detection when this hits, so he won't be able to see this coming unless he has, like, something on the map that just happens to see. But 2 Reapers, 2 Hellions, and it looks like 2 more Hellions can be coming through. Oh, okay, so he's not going to go for a drop. It's just going to be 4 Hellions and the 2 Reapers. Okay. Going to go into Banshees. Nice. Didn't really work for him last game, though. Maybe it worked for him a little bit better this game, but last game he went in... Was it last game? No, it wasn't last game. It was the second game, I believe. He went into Banshees and just... It got killed instantly. Yeah, there's just a lot of Stalkers here. He's trying to carve a path to get in there, but... kind of unfortunate. Sees that third base is trying to be taken. We'll be able to actually get the probe. That's a nice pick up there. And the Phoenix gonna see everything coming through. Oh. Did he cancel that? Oh, smart. Hey, okay, so he gives the illusion that he's going into a Banshee, but he's actually gonna go into a Raven. I like it. I think because he saw the hallucinated Phoenix, he kind of changed direction. Well, that's not gonna work now. Oh, but ASTREA sees the cancel. Smart, smart. And I think that's really good, actually. You know, ASTREA wanting to come in a second time with the hallucination just to verify, are you actually making a Banshee? Smart place. Reaper's going to make their way back home. The Hellions just going to try to fish around and see where they can get any damage done. Let's see. You can kind of see that there. Funny. Additional barracks going to be coming down. 3rd CC for the Terran. Yeah, I mean, ASTREA is in a pretty solid defensive position right now. He's got that 3rd base finally on the way. He's got sentries out. He's got stalkers. The Hellions not really going to get damage done. I mean, maybe if they can slip in, that'd be nice. But for the council, and now the robotics bay coming through. Reaper's going to go down here towards the 3rd base. There's already defense here, though, so I don't think it's really going to get anything done. You can at least just see that there is that 3rd base. Okay, so he's going to try to get into the main. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's when my panic level starts going up. There's just so many stalkers here. How does the medevac make it out? Okay, he does get it. Able to pick off 2... Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it. I guess that's one of the things, like, if you're playing against a player like Special, like, you know he's going to get aggressive, so it's just kind of like, hey, let's just be in a good defensive position, keep units kind of all over the place, and just keep an eye out. Really feels like that's where Special has the hardest. Like, if his initial attacks don't get the damage done, sometimes it feels like he has trouble in the later part. Like, he's still a really good player, and he can make some really good comebacks. I mean, we look at the previous game, like, It definitely seemed like ASTREA could have taken it. Or that... or the... I don't know. But there's definitely situations where it feels like he's going to be down and out, but he can just take some good engagements and get it going. Blink on the way, as well as the good old extended thermal lance for ASTREA. And we've really kind of seen the same build coming out from ASTREA, or the same composition, I should say. Not the same build, because he has changed it up. Really just kind of going into the Colossus with the Disruptors, eventually adding on for Archons. Blink, going into heavy Zealots. I think that's kind of what ASTREA likes to do in general, is just going heavy Zealots. Templar Archives and Forge. Yeah, I mean, it does look like Special wants to push into this now. Obviously, ASTREA does see this. Gonna throw down the Guardian Shields. Tanks, go ahead and lock down. And it's really interesting. Special does not like to go into Widow Mines unless it's an opener. He just loves the pressure of the tanks. And I think it's because of that splash damage. Or maybe he just feels like Widow Mines aren't that reliable. Because they are kind of like... Widow Mines can either kill your army or kill their army kind of situation. It's very a double-sided blade. Fourth base for ASTREA now coming through. And yeah, I mean, he will be able to at least see that this is coming. Gives us a good scan, sees that the army is starting to move across. Some Warpins coming down. Gonna be some High Templar. Gonna go into Archons, so does not have Storm, but looking to get a couple of feedbacks. We'll be able to feedback one of the medevacs. And now with the addition of the Guardian Shield and with these Colossus, the overcharge is activated, able to pick off one of the Ravens. Or, excuse me, one of the Vikings. But really, at this point, it's just waiting for him to come up to the map. Oh no. Gonna lose that third base. Let's have the fourth base over here trying to come up, but it has been scouted. We see that Marine just closing things down. It's kind of unfortunate. Like it's going to be able to come in with the Zealots and the Stalkers, trying to close out some of the... trying to close out some of the reinforcements, but unfortunately just too much from Special's side, and we're going to start seeing ASTREA just trying to, I guess, hold this new third base. He's going to send across a few units for a counterattack, and we have seen this work pretty well. The fourth base down here at the bottom going to be taken out from ASTREA as the charge, going to force the pickup. The tanks and the Marines going to be in an okay position. There are just so many, 11, 12 SCVs going to come down, getting on top of the Raven as well. Gonna force the recall. Does lose the Colossus, which does kind of suck, but at least he's able to get a little bit of breathing room for the moment. Get additional Warpins as Zealots coming through. And oh no, the tanks by themselves! Will be forced back once again, trying to play this very calmly, very collectively. Zealots will be able to finally kind of clear up this bottom path. And we should probably see him going back into that. Yeah, everything just getting demolished here. The Colossus do go down. The Archons trying to get on top of the tanks, but there's too much. And Special takes game number 4. Right, so here in the top right, in red, it is the Terran player known as Special. In the bottom left, in the blue, give it up for the Protoss. It is ASTREA. Right, game number 5. Man, it has been a back and forth fight here. No map has gone untarnished. No fight has gone unjustified, and it really shows like how skilled both of these players are. The back and forthness, you know, the decision making, the competitiveness of both sides. Been interesting to see. we see Astrea going across the map once again with his probe. I don't think we'll see a proxy. Maybe we will, but this looks like he's going to go straight up and do normal scout. There you go. You know, I've been, I found some old, as we kind of get into game number 5, kind of see where these players want to go. Like, I've been casting these guys for a while now, and I actually found some old videos, like when I first started casting, and I remember like how exhausted I used to be with some of those. And I realized how much of a slur I would have on words, where it was like I couldn't, like, I'd watch it and I'm like, what am I saying, you know? It just seems like I had trouble like pronouncing things. So it's been like, even at work, I've been working on like pronouncing things properly. So like I've been watching the casts lately, like after I get done casting, because I like to watch over and just kind of see like where I can improve, like where some of my weaknesses are and stuff like that. And I feel like lately we've really been getting into getting better with just pronunciations. Like obviously there's some like words that I still have trouble with, I feel like, but I think overall you're able to at least understand what I'm saying. So Astrea going to be going into the expansion. We do see the Reaper coming through. We'll be able to get a couple of probe kills actually. Wow. Oh, I think he could have got that. That's all right. Adept, same time across the map for Astrea. Trying to get on top of the natural. Will end up losing a single SCV. And I think he eventually does get out with the Adept. Yeah. Not bad. I mean, he is able to kind of delay, I guess, a little bit of income coming through here, but this early in the game, I mean, you're gonna have like a probe there, so not bad. Well, the council is on the way. Blink coming through, and this is the first time we've seen Astrea kind of open up into that blink. It really has been a later tech option for him. So Reaper gonna make his way up. Don't think he's not gonna be able to get into the main really, except for on that ledge. But he is at least able to kind of get a little bit of a scout. Additional gateways on the way, and finally that robotics facility is coming through for Astrea. Special on the other side. Does have the Marines. He is going to go into a couple of mines to push across with this. And yeah, I mean, eventually we will get the observers, but this is going to hit before the observers actually get out, so that could be a good setup. Now, Blink is on the way, but Astrea has not scouted this out yet.
Your base is under attack. Stay cool.
Thanks, Diva. All right. Ooh, the Widow Mine. Not going to get inspected here. Let's get 3 kills, so nothing too crazy. And now, Astrea definitely now alerted. Gets another kill, so that's all right. Blink about 15 seconds away from finishing up. Now, I don't think he's going to get any more, but still getting 4 kills and making it out with a single mine. Going to be more than okay. Raven on the way for special behind this, adding on those additional barracks. Just trying to get set up into a standard kind of opener for the Terran. Third base on the way for Astrea. And yeah, I mean, Blink is now finished. She's got charge on the way. Observers finally going to be making their appearance. And now a Templar Archives, the Forge. Definitely would love to see him go into Storm. I don't know if Oxide's the map for that, though. I mean, I guess there is that potential, especially with the ramping and stuff, but I guess in a sense, if you're Astrea, you look at the situation, right? Every match, Special has gone very heavy into tanks. Do you do something to try to counteract that? What do you do? to counteract that. I mean, he has tried to add on some additional, I guess, additional like Zealot Immortals. But I don't know. We're gonna see Storm finally on the way. +1 armor coming through for ASTREA. On special side, just not getting stim, combat shields, and the +1. Marines making their way across the map, gonna go towards the main base. Already some stalkers are there. Additional gateways coming through, 6 additional gateways in fact. So really gonna start ramping up that production. Will allow him to make quite a bit of Templar. And yeah, I mean, charge gonna be finished up in about 10 seconds. And really setting up for a solid army here from ASTREA. Special though, looking to move across. He does have that Raven. He's got some Marines and Marauders and a tank. Gonna force the drop here. We'll lose the medevac. The Marines stimming forward, trying to pick off a couple of those stalkers. Now, feedbacks go down on the Raven after getting a couple. GG's though. Wow. Game number 6 coming through. And man, I'm interested to see where these players want to go with this. Now, this is one of the new maps, 2000 Atmospheres. And it's really interesting. Like, it's another one of those maps that has a lot of like close corners. It's got a lot of little like hidden paths that are definitely possible to hide things, proxy things. We do actually see Special going for the barracks play. Throwing down another barracks, so gonna go into 2 racks. Trying to make it as normal as possible, but obviously with Special, or excuse me, with ASTREA coming in, seeing the delay on that, you gotta be thinking, okay, he has to be proxying something. Maybe he's thinking, it's kind of a weird time, but it should be okay. Alright. Expansion coming out for ASTREA. We do see ASTREA just looking around, making sure that there wasn't any proxies in his base. But oh, he's gonna move out with this probe. Does he actually scout it? No, he does not. And there comes the bunker right in the face of the pylon. Gonna force the pool of probes here. Does end up canceling it. Yeah. Cancels it as the first Reaper does make its way out. Shield battery on the way. Just trying to hold this off as long as possible so he can get that bunker up. Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate he cannot get it up. Perfect pool coming out here from ASTREA. Now, the additional SCVs are coming through to try to help put this in. But I don't know if he's going to be... Maybe. If he can somehow get this in, that's going to be crucial. But he is going to have to cancel it once again. Does force it back. And still the probe in sight here as we finally do see that supply depot coming down. A factory being added on into this. And just going to be making Marines from this point on. The first Reaper just going to be hanging out. We'll eventually probably go up into the main and try to scout, see what's going on. But ASTREA holding that off. Not having to sacrifice too much. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. Starport on the way as we do have that tech lab coming through. We'll see. It's definitely one of those like really small naturals, so it's hard to like really attack into this. Oh, the Reaper does come in. Gonna be able to see the additional gateways. And we'll go back. Now, Special has not expanded yet, so he's gonna be behind economically. But does he just go for like a one base play here? I wouldn't think so, right? You think he would finally expand behind all of this. But I guess when you committed with the 2 racks like this, you're just trying to, I guess, force the downhill here. Robotics facility on the way. Reaper still hanging out in the front, just wants to see if anything comes across. If anything is moving across the map. Yeah, he's going to go into double tank. Got the medevac. And I think we do see him start pushing in towards the 3rd. But I guess then the good thing is like, ASTREA has been taking a third base pretty early on, like going a 3-base push. So forcing him into almost just a 2-base situation might be good for the Terran. Does end up losing the Reaper though. Losing, I think, is going to see the medevac flying across the map as the huge amount of Marines and the medevac with the tanks coming across the map. We do have a Liberator on the way, and it actually is pulling a few SCVs as well. How many SCVs is that? He's got like 7 SCVs. It's pretty stalker heavy. Did you see him pushing across? Tank's going to go ahead and siege up. Try to get it close to the natural as possible. Additional shield batteries are going to go down. The tanks will slowly start pushing into this. Yeah, just trying to play this as cautiously as possible. The tanks do move up once again. While all this attack is going on, the overcharge is activated. And the SCVs healing up the tanks as best as possible. First Immortal does pop out, trying to chrono out a second Immortal here. As the shield batteries do go down, the Liberator going to start sieging up as well. Really kind of forcing ASTREA into this weird, awkward position. We talked about how this choke point is really hard to attack into. It is also hard to attack out of, especially since you have all of these buildings. You have everything here. Going to shut down the second Immortal from coming out. The pylon trying to help bring it back up, but the tanks slowly starting to move forward. The probes, the SCVs, everything getting pulled here. Zealous trying to get on top of the Marines. The SCVs healing up the tanks as best as possible. Eventually, the Marines are going to fall down. The tanks are going to go down. And will force a pickup. The tank trying to get some damage done here. Ends up losing the tank. GG's. And it is now tied up a 3-3. In the bottom right-hand corner in the red. Give it up for the Protoss player. It is ASTREA. In the top left in the blue. Give it up for the Terran. It is Special. All right. Go. So, game number 7. Could be a good one. Special. Gonna go for the 2 racks play. 3 racks, maybe. Go for a 3 racks here. Very interesting. Does he just go into Marines from this? I guess because you are delaying the refineries to get that third one. There it goes. It's going to block this off, trying to make sure that ASTREA does not know what's going on. 53 health. Does need to bring something down here if he wants to see this not die out. Yes. Just perfect timing. Really, just like one shot that probably would have went down. Do you see ASTREA going for an expansion behind this? Special throwing down the supply depot, so I guess you can kind of think that there is something going on. We do see Special coming across, or excuse me, ASTREA coming across. Will not actually scout this though, unless he comes up here. But I don't think that's going to happen. Some next score on the way. Finally, the probe will return back. He is looking for the proxy. Sees the Marine follow up. And yeah, he is going to see it indeed. So he knows that is now a 3-base proxy. Instantly cancels that. The CC gonna throw down the shield battery. I would like to see him maybe throw down a couple more gateways, but I don't know if it's gonna be done in time. He is gonna throw down the adepts and a couple of shield batteries and just kind of work on, I guess, holding this. Oh man, the Pain Train SCV town is on its way across the map. I mean, this is probably all in as you can get. Just have more Marines on the way. There we go. The Marines, the SCVs on the way across. There is a Stalker and an Adept. He does have another Stalker on the way, another gateway coming through. And he's going to have to use the probes on this. Overcharge needs to be available. The probes trying to get on top of this. Shield batteries trying to heal up as best as possible. The Marines getting on top of the the units here. These probe pools, though, just insane. Getting on top of the shield battery, though. First shield battery will go down. Doesn't have... Oh, no, he does have enough for an overcharge if he needs it. But really trying to save that overcharge, I think. There it goes. Overcharge finally active. The probes getting around all of the SCVs. 14, 15 SCVs do go down. As the probes able to kind of push this back, trying to force whatever units back. Overcharge now ran out. We do have more stalkers on the way. The second gateway is now finished up, making into a warp gate, so we can start warping in here. With the third stalker coming in here, it does get a little bit tougher for the Marines of Special. The GG's! In the bottom right-hand corner of Abyssal Reef. Give it up for the Protoss. It is ASTREA. And in the top left, in the blue, give it up. It is Special. Abyssal Reef. This map brings back memories. Map that was in, I think, one of the longest running maps besides like Lost Temple. Or, what was it? Temple Vestige? Something like that. Good map, though. We will see Special going for the barracks play. Special definitely trying to throw out the proxy game quite a bit. Oh no, the shark! Watch out, probe! Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. You know, I just got done watching, as we kind of see what kind of, because I just went into this, it's because it reminded me of it, but I just got done watching ReZero, well, the first couple of seasons, and in it there's a whale. It's called like the white whale, but it basically looks like a big shadow until it forms, and these just kind of like remind me of it. It's like, I know it's a shark, but it's just kind of interesting. I don't know why, but for some reason it just reminded me of that. It's like, no, it's the white whale. Alright, so probe, just trying to be annoying as possible, does delay the CC. And at this point, you know, ASTREA does know that, okay, there's not a proxy. More than likely, it's going to be something just normal. And I guess, you know, Abyssal Reef is one of those maps that these players have played on quite a bit. So I think the comfortability there is more available. And I think too is like the maps that we've seen Special kind of proxy on have definitely been some of the newer maps. And obviously, you know, the pros a lot of times will go for the cheekier plays on maps that they're not real comfortable with. Maybe he feels like the maps themselves might not be in his favor. So he just wants to try to get a little bit of an edge before he has to really engage into him. Behind it, we do have the factory coming out from Special, and on ASTREA's side, again, just has the expansion coming down, going to be going into Twilight Council, so we will start seeing that blink coming through, potentially going into charge behind it, and going into that kind of standard style that we see ASTREA doing. We need more maps like Abyssal Reef. Such a good map. Sentry's on the way. We do finally have that Twilight Council almost done, as it is going to be a Hellion opening. Depth not being able to get in. We do actually see the Hellion just kind of searching around at the moment. He will eventually go across the map to just put on pressure, but also scout. And, oh no, the Adapt gonna get in. Yeah, no, unfortunately, and he actually is losing, there he goes, losing a little bit of the gas count there too. Hellion does get in, able to kill out 2 probes, gets into the main base, and I think he's actually able to kind of scout. He doesn't see the Twilight Council. You kind of have to assume that, you know, right? You assume that you don't see the, you know, the robotics facility. It's just kind of like, okay, maybe he's going into Twilight. And with the stalkers there, you obviously know he's got a cybernetics course, so nothing too crazy. It's going to be very marine heavy with the Raven coming through. Eventually going to get a tank as well. Special supply blocked. That's really been kind of a killer for Special. Like, I guess maybe it's just part of his build too, but it really feels like the supply blocks kind of hurt him in the early game. And it does look like ASTREA wants to push across the map now with a pretty aggressive push. We've seen this in the previous game. I think it was on Beckett Industries. It didn't get the damage done that he wanted. There was only 2 Marines in place as he had another attack going across, but oh, this could get some damage done. Yeah. Able to get a couple of kills, not too bad. Tank is out now. And will we see ASTREA push into this? I don't think so. Raven, not enough energy. Will have to be forced back for the time being. As more tanks, more Marines are coming out. Does look like, for the time being, ASTREA just going to hang out at the bottom of the ramp. Doesn't want to get over eager, but we'll be able to at least kind of contain Special for the moment. Third base is done and pretty much well saturated for the Protoss. ASTREA just kind of seeing, you know, is the third base being taken here for Special? And indeed, it has not been taken yet. Now, the tank's in a pretty good position. We're going to see another tank come down here towards the bottom. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see like a little bit of a push. This is definitely a good map for mech. But I don't think we're going to see that. Yeah, with Stim coming through +1, yeah, no mech to be had. Gotta be careful though, might lose that third base. Okay. Combat shields and Stim on the way for the Terran. ASTREA going into Templar Archives. He is adding on additional gateways. It's got +1 being researched and charge on the way. So delaying that third base as much as possible, giving him an okay shot through it all. Good scan. Gonna kind of see the army over here. Additional gateways coming down. 8 gateways. Holy cow. Just a huge surge in gateways. Gonna be able to get the block. He won't block, but it will at least get the kill there. Storm on the way. 6 gateways still on the way as well. Holy cow. There we go. 10, 11 gates. Holy cow. Blink is not done. Or it has been done for a while. Got +1 almost completed for the Terran. Protoss is almost done as well. He does have the armor upgrade, so that would be nice. Adding on additional zealots to attack into this. Now, if he can somehow get on top of this, that'd be really nice, but oh no. The army is out of position here for ASTREA. The tank's going to siege up onto the low ground. Marine's going to send forward. Going to force a probe pool here from the Protoss. Zealots are waiting, I guess, essentially, maybe for Storm to finish it. Oh. Overcharge just come down. Another attack coming over to the third base. We'll force a pickup going into the main base. And yeah, I mean, this lockdown on the bottom will eventually be able to get the medevacs and kind of shut down some of the aggression. Still more attacks going on into the main base of ASTREA. And really, we have seen where ASTREA hasn't been able to move out. Oh no, a Liberator coming through as well. There's really not a whole lot of anti-air. Okay. Or the Stalkers. I guess they can get right there. There we go. Marines, Marauders coming up towards the top. Special looking to just continue to hold down this third base. 30 probes have been taken out as another attack was going on down here at the bottom with the Raven. Eventually this will get cleaned up. The tanks out, but the damage has been done. 34 workers to 69 a special. A special takes a 4th base behind all of this. Now, there's a big counterattack coming across the map. These High Templar do have Storm, and if he can get his own attacks going on in the middle of the bases, Storm's going to do a lot of damage. He is going to move up towards the top. There really isn't any tanks with this army, as it has been now switched to the mines. Okay, so he's going to come up towards the top here, looking to get on top of the CC. Stimming forward with the Marauders. Going to have a couple of mines actually detonate. Oh no, he gets a kill before the detonation. There we go. Storms beautifully going down on the army here of Special. Just really eliminating a lot of the potential there. Does get the shot off onto one of the Immortals. Will be forced back, but it looks like he might be able to get the 4th base. Trying to work on it. The Immortals, the Archons, trying to deal as much damage as possible. The High Templar, though, no longer around. Blinking back. And might be a little bit of an overextension. Will be forced back. GG's. And Special tie things up. Alright, guys. In the top left. In the pink, give it up. It is ASTREA. And at the bottom right, in the red, it is Special. Alright. Bridgehead. Don't think I've actually played, or I've played this map before. Yeah. I remember this map. This map is really interesting. Those who have never seen this map, this is kind of like your natural or your 3rd base. There are some destructible rocks that go towards that base that we do see sometimes players like go down tanks or some kind of sieging unit right here and just be able to attack into it. It makes it really tough to fight. So we do see a lot of players go for this as their main. Just try to keep the focus up here. But it's definitely a map that has a lot of like close-knit quarters. That makes it really tough to fight into. It almost reminds me of like a lot of the like Brood War maps. I think it was actually a Brood War map that was like this. But definitely see some interesting plays on here. Sometimes some cheekiness, sometimes some more aggressive stuff. We'll see as things go on. Now, ASTREA going to be taking that expansion in the back, just to kind of keep an eye on any potential like pushes into the back base. And the same from Special. Factory coming out from Special. And I almost wonder, I think if you put a pylon right here, you can actually warp in right here. So maybe we'll see something like that. As long as you have vision, I believe you can do that. Ooh, Stargate play. First time we've seen Stargate coming out from ASTREA. And I think on a map like Bridgehead, that's going to be the perfect response. The thing is like Bridgehead, even though they're pretty close quarters, because you have to kind of go in a weird like lightning bolt pattern essentially to get to the base, being able to just fly straight across really makes it nice. The thing too is like with these bases, it's so awkward to build anything in. It's like literally this is your gas, and you can't really like build anything right here except for like 2 buildings, maybe a 3rd if you're lucky, like right here. And then you kind of just have to like line the lawn, line everything down here. But then if you have tanks right here, it's like it gets really convoluted, kind of crazy. All right, so Starport going to go up towards the top. We will eventually, I think, see a medevac, and if I'm correct in thinking so, I do think he's going to go maybe into some Hellions and just try to go into a drop. So it's going to be Phoenix coming out from ASTREA, and yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's going to go up so it's the top. Hellions everywhere. Marines going to be able to pick up the... almost gets the Phoenix. The Phoenix will at least see kind of what's going on in the main. You kind of have to assume that they know. Shield battery's going to go down in the main base. I think eventually we'll go down in the natural, but we do have Marines coming across. We also have the Hellions looking to get into the medevacs. It's going to go 3 medevac, or 3 Hellion. This is fine. There we go. ASTREA not going to see this at all. Oh my goodness. Go up towards the main. There isn't a depth, but against 3 Hellions. Gonna force the pool. Phoenix will be able to lift up potentially 1. Okay, there we go. Gets 4 kills at the same time. Marines attacking up towards the front base. You have the gateways coming through. 5 probes do go down. Still 2 Hellions remain. We'll eventually kill them off. Oh, almost got some additional ones there. But the Marines starting to go towards the front. Gonna try to focus down the shield battery. And does so actually. Ooh. Gets one of the Phoenix, the second Phoenix. Gonna have to back up as these Marines just gonna continue forward. The delayed mining time looking very great. Viking though, gonna go into the natural. Just constant harassment coming out from Special. Beautiful play. 13 SCVs, 14 SCVs. All of these are gonna go down. ASTREA in some big trouble here. Does have Stalkers, and he does have a couple of the Phoenix, which is nice. Eventually, the medevac will be taken out. These Marines going to be left to their own devices. And it will eventually fall, but 22 probes in the beginning here being taken out, and that puts ASTREA in a very tough position, especially going into that Stargate style. I think couldn't have gone better for a Special in that situation behind that. He's going to add additional barracks, but ASTREA gonna go for a counter attack. He needs to get some damage done, but with the Marines and the Cyclone here, gonna be a very tough fight for ASTREA. Seeing the Cyclone, seeing the Marines, we'll go ahead and back up. Takes a 3rd base behind all of this, and it's just gonna try to recuperate those losses. I mean, it's really tough because it's like you're kind of putting yourself into, now I just have to go into Phoenix and hope that's enough. But Special already like in a really good position. And another thing too, like I don't know if we're gonna get to that point. We may, especially if we're Special playing. But if you notice, behind this 3rd base is this top little area. A lot of Terrans like to put their tanks up here and just try to siege down and try to like kind of come in from behind. So it makes it really tough because not only do you have to try, if you're a Terran doing this, like Zealots and stuff can come back here as well because it's just an open, like there's so many pathways to just attack it. It's insane. Like you not only have to block right here, you also have to kind of like block up here or do something to where you can scout up at the top. Make sure you don't die to some storms or something like that. So maybe we'll see something happen. Maybe that's the tech that ASTREA has to go for. He is going to go into he's going to go into the Colossus. Huge brain fart there. But I mean, I guess against the mass Marines it'll be okay. But this huge push coming across for Special, the damage that it has potentially to be able to do. It does have the Phoenix across the map trying to delay this as much as possible, but there's really nothing at home. I mean, there's a Colossus, a couple of Stalkers, and a couple of Depths. There's not a whole lot to defend here. If he can come back with the Phoenix, maybe pick up the Cyclones, maybe there's something there, but another big drop going to go up towards the top, and Special just playing a fantastic game this series. Gets the Adept. Almost gets the Cyclone, or the Sentry. Does eventually get it. Trying to move the Colossus back as best as possible as the Marines, Marauders, and the Cyclones move it forward. The Zealots will eventually fall down as well. The Colossus left to his own devices. And we do see the Phoenix trying to pick up the units, trying to take out as much as possible, but the Cyclones, the Marines, going to be a little bit too much. GG's. And Special going to lead 5-4. In the top right, in the red from Alpha X, it is ASTREA. And in the top left, in the blue, from Exxon Gaming, it is Special. Alrighty, so game number 10 here, the final game of the series. This is an interesting map. For those who don't know, this map has gold bases. We have seen, and it doesn't look like Special's going to do this, but we have seen on this map a tendency for the Terrans to lift their CC and just go up to the gold base and mine. Now, this map is known for its... I believe it's this map that was played during the Red Bull of Bomber versus Scarlet. That crazy, just all-out fight where we've seen the Bailings burrow unexpectedly and able to kill Bomber in just an all-out fight. So it's definitely an iconic map, really good map, and it's almost like Blackburn, how it's set up, but it's down at the bottom on Blackburn instead of at the top. And this was before they introduced like the accelerator zones and stuff like that. So really good play. Always trying to keep the middle base here, or the Zelnaga tower. And for the first time, we actually see ASTREA proxy. It's going to proxy a gateway down here at the bottom. He's already got the gateway up top. I imagine we will see a third gateway come down. And maybe like this kind of like parting 3-gate adept pressure into like... I mean, he could go into like Blaze, but... There we go. Special coming across. We'll actually scout that the natural trying to be taken on the gold base. We'll get the probe. And it's kind of one of those risk rewards. It's like, yeah, you can try to take that gold base, but you're going to have a tougher time defending it, because unlike some maps, you know, for a Terran, you can't just put your tank here and defend it. You've got to kind of like set it down. It's a very kind of like a risk reward, which was something we saw a lot in the maps from the olden times. Alright, so first adepts are going to end up falling, at least one of them. Second adept will end up falling. Does get 3 probes altogether, or excuse me, 3 SCVs altogether. The adept looking to shade in once again. Is forcing a lot of SCV kills here though. Trying to get the... wants to get that Reaper so bad. Now Marines are coming out. Will force the adept back. Let's be careful, as now with the bunker finishing up, does actually get one of them done. As more and more adepts making their way across the map, we do finally have that Twilight Council coming down for ASTREA. Special does have the bunker up, and now with the Marines should be okay, but oh, okay. Able to get in, sees the tank situation. ASTREA does take the gold base though, so that will allow him to get more minerals, allow him to get a little bit more like gateways and zealots and whatever else he wants that's very like mineral heavy. Adepts coming to shade up. Do they actually complete the shade? He's going to go into the main base. Completes the shade. Huge play here from ASTREA. Trying to pull the SCVs once again. A lot of delayed mining time coming out from Special to defeat this. Eventually this is going to be taken care of. It's able... Oh my God. The plays from ASTREA. Just some big brain moves. Able to recall without just losing one. And still getting 4 more kills. Just doing a fantastic job of keeping that pressure up against Special. Special doing a good job defending, but he is losing a lot of mining time. A lot of his SCVs are badly hurt, and it's not like a Protoss. It's not like a Zerg where it has that regenerative property. It's not like a Reaper where after so long not being in combat or not mining or something that they're going to have that that additional healing regen. So Special will come in with the Cyclones. We'll be able to eventually just kind of shut down this extra warp in spot. But there are a lot of adepts. 4 adepts, 4 stalkers looking to start pushing across. Blink is on the way. You have the robotics facility and the Reaper. Going to start being a nuisance here as well. It's another thing, like you can just put a tank on the bottom and start shooting at it. We have seen Special kind of transition into the Cyclones now the past few games, so I like it. Gonna go up towards the natural and just try to shut down this extra income that ASTREA is trying to bring, pulling the SCVs, or excuse me, pulling the probes to deal with this. Alright. Special gonna go into the main base with the Cyclone, does get the medevac, will be forced back, but will at least be able to take care of everything. 9 probes do end up falling. The Cyclone still getting damage done, getting a 10th, an 11th, and eventually a 12th. There we go. The Cyclone does end up falling. Now behind this, more barracks coming down for Special as he's trying to pull himself back into this. He is now ahead in the worker count once again. eBay's going down, additional depots as he has somehow climbed his way back into this. I don't think he necessarily was fully behind or anything like that. Definitely had some damage done. But he is now kind of even back with this. Special coming in with the Liberator. Doesn't actually get picked up by the Stalkers there. Some more damage going to be done. ASTREA paying attention. He is not going to lose 1, 2. Eventually the Liberator going to be returned now. Definitely on the radar here of ASTREA. He's going to go into a robotics bay behind this. Eventually, I guess he wants to go for this base, but there's nothing here yet, so kind of like, yeah, don't have to really worry about it. Scan does go down, kind of seeing where the army is, as well as kind of seeing, you know, how things are mining here. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to continue to go into STEM, get into combat shields, and just start going into that bio army. ASTREA definitely doing a good job of keeping a hold of the Zalnaga tower. That's going to help him see anything comes down towards the bottom, anything coming across towards the top, as well as it allows you to see if there's anything mining on the gold base. So it's definitely very crucial in this game. We will see a lot of battles fought in that position just to kind of keep the advantage. Everything. Hey, thank you for the cast on fire. Appreciate it. I mean, ASTREA looking pretty good. I mean, he's got a good army here. And the thing, too, is, like, Special's just not going into tanks. We do have extended thermal lance on the way. We have Colossus, obviously, coming out. Stalker's just trying to keep this Liberator in check. He's doing a really good job there. And it really is Special playing defensive at this point. Like, I think he's waiting for +1 to finish before he moves out. So we do see him moving out now. As +1 is getting ready to finish. Sees the army. He'll try to get in a good position. And yeah, here we go. Good force field. It's going to go down. Pulling the SCVs as well, just to try to help deal with this. Same time, Liberator going to go into that third base, trying to keep the distractions all together. Actually separating the SCVs is a really brilliant play there with these force fields. It's definitely an interesting ramp to have to deal with. But ultimately right now, ASTREA is trying to keep Special from getting siege right here. Alright, Special slowly starting to creep up towards this natural. ASTREA trying to get on top of it. The Colossus able to kill off a good chunk of the SCVs, but more and more damage has been done. Eventually the Liberator will be taken care of as the tanks finally getting into siege range of that natural, automatically getting those probes to pull over so he's not losing more. Very good smart play from ASTREA. The tank slowly starting to siege forward, not wanting to overextend as the Zealots trying to set up for a flank here. But Special not having any of it. Does a good scan, sees where the army is coming through, and slowly just going to start pushing forward. Trying to get on top of this area, and ASTREA slowly starting to pull himself back. Doesn't really have to worry about this base at the moment. Nothing can really be worked in. And Special just playing this so patiently. He's pulling some more SCVs to deal with this. He's got the Vikings for the Colossus. And ASTREA definitely in some trouble. Oh, even throwing down a couple of missile turrets. Marines, Marauders going to go into the natural. Going to force a little bit of a recall to kind of shut this down. A nice force field. We'll be able to pick off a couple of Marauders. And we even have some good old-fashioned Zealots for a counterattack for any reinforcements that may try to come across. Still has the Adept down here if he wants to do something with it. I don't think he will. But here come the Zealots coming up from the back. Colossus on the top, getting a lot of damage done. Eventually, all of the units here for ASTREA ends up falling. GG's.